You know, every single photograph, it's like a moment frozen in time, right? It's a little ghost of the past, locked away on paper or on a screen. But what if we could unfreeze it? What if we could actually ask it to tell us its story? Well, today, we're going to dive into what happens when we do just that.
Come on, we've all done it. You're staring at an old portrait of a great-great-grandparent or a faded family photo, and you just wish, for 1 second, it could move. Just to give you a hint of who that person really was, what that moment felt like.
Well, guess what? Today, we actually can. The technology to bring still images to life is easier to get your hands on than ever before. It's this incredible power that can make history feel alive in ways we never thought possible. But, and it's a big but, it also opens up a huge, complex can of worms about truth, memory, and even our own identities.
So, how is this magic trick actually performed? Well, the toolkit is pretty vast. It ranges from these incredibly simple tools that basically anyone can use, all the way to these painstaking artistic techniques that have been around for over 100 years.
For a basic animation, it really is almost this easy. With software like Canva, you can take some old, stuffy historical photo, and in just a few clicks, that person suddenly feels like they're about to lean in and tell you a secret. All it takes is a little zoom or a slow pan. It's a super quick way to give a static image a real sense of life.
But that's really just scratching the surface. To truly make an image move in a way that feels believable, especially if you want to mix it with live video, you have to turn to a much more intense and meticulous craft. It's a technique that kind of builds a bridge between the real world and the animated one.
It's called rotoscoping, and get this, it was patented way back in 1917 by a guy named Max Fleischer. This technique has shaped everything from classic Disney movies like Snow White to the awesome glow of the lightsabers in Star Wars. It's literally the art of tracing over live-action film, frame by frame, to create animation that moves with this spooky realism.
And this is where the real nitty-gritty artistry comes in. Just picture an artist meticulously drawing an outline, they call it a shape, around a person. And then they have to adjust dozens of little points on that shape, frame by painstaking frame, to perfectly match every single tiny movement. It's an incredibly detailed process, but it's what lets artists blend the real and the imaginary so perfectly.
Okay, so we've got these incredible tools, right? From the super simple to the incredibly complex. But the big question is, what kinds of stories can they help us tell that we couldn't tell before? Well, one of the most powerful answers is in the world of documentary, where animation can get to parts of a story that a regular camera just can't touch.
And this, right here, this is the whole ballgame. A camera can show you what happened, sure, but animation? Man, animation can show you what it felt like. It can take you right inside someone's head, showing you their memories, their feelings, their internal world in a way that is just unbelievably powerful.
The scholar Annabelle Rowe actually breaks this down into two big ideas. First, you've got what she calls mimetic substitution. That's the straightforward one. Think of a history documentary animating a huge battle that obviously was never filmed. But then you have non-mimetic substitution, and this is where things get really wild. It's where an artist might show a person's anxiety, not by having them talk about it, but by animating it as a swirling storm of colors. It's not about showing what happened, it's about showing what it felt like.
And maybe the most mind-blowing example of telling a story with still images wasn't even a documentary. It was a groundbreaking science fiction film from 1962 that basically threw out the rulebook on what a movie could even be.
Chris Marker's La Jetée is just a flat-out masterpiece. He tells this entire complex sci-fi story almost completely with still photos. By stripping away the motion, he forces you to focus on the raw power of each picture. And with his editing and a haunting narrator, he creates this incredible sense of movement and emotion. It's this brilliant reminder that a story isn't just in the moving pictures, but in the connections our own minds make between the still ones. Okay, but with great power comes, well, you know the rest. This ability to reshape reality, to animate, to alter, it has a really dark side. And a cautionary tale from the writer Stephen Leacock shows us exactly what that looks like when an artist's vision completely erases the truth. So in this story, our main character goes to a photographer just to get a simple portrait. But the photographer, this photographer has other ideas. He doesn't see a face to be captured, he sees raw material to be corrected. And the narrator's plea is just, it's heartbreaking. He's not asking for perfection, he's just asking to be recognized. And the improvements the photographer makes are just, they're completely off the wall. He proudly explains how he retouched the eyes, totally erased the original eyebrows to draw on new ones, and fixed the mouth. And the grand finale, he just casually suggests using something called the sulfide process to, get this, completely remove the ears. It's so absurd you'd laugh if it wasn't so tragic.
And you have to remember why he was there in the first place. His goal was so simple and pure. He just wanted a photograph his friends could have after he was gone, a real picture of the man they actually knew. This is his final judgment on the photo. Utterly devastating. The portrait, which was technically improved by the artist, has become a worthless piece of junk to him. By trying to make the face better, the photographer completely destroyed its soul, its identity, its entire reason for existing.
And this really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? When we interact with these frozen moments from the past, what are we actually doing? Are we connecting with history, or are we just making up a story we like better?
The famous French philosopher Roland Barthes thought about this a lot. And for him, there was something deeply, deeply unsettling about every single photograph he looked at.
See, for Barth, a photo isn't just a picture. It's a certificate that says this thing, this person, has been. It's a direct trace of a reality that is gone forever. It's not just an image of a person, it's proof that this person, in this light, at this exact second, was real and alive. It's a ghost, really.
So here's the billion-dollar question. When we take that ghost and we animate it, are we getting closer to the truth of who that person really was? Are we letting them speak? Or are we just like Leacock's photographer? Are we creating a beautiful but ultimately false version of them? A fiction that pleases us but betrays the reality that was actually there.
And that's the thought I want to leave you with. You know, the photographer in that story used chemicals and retouching brushes. Today, we have AI and social media filters that can alter our faces in a split second. And it makes you wonder, in this world of endless digital improvements, are we all at risk of becoming that narrator, just desperately crying out for a face that is truly our own?